What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Document Gaming. Hope y'all are doing all right today. Your time is valuable. My time is valuable. So I will not waste your time. We're going to jump right into it. If you look over my shoulder here, you're going to see a bunch of physical media. I got PS4, PS5, PS2, some PlayStation 1. It's just not on that rack specifically because I'm 3D printing something different. Got DVDs, Blu-rays, collector's editions over there. I got some statues and figures, right? And then, of course, I even have a vinyl player because your brother, I love music. And while I don't have all of my vinyl collection right here, I am going to show some of them. And it's just going to be me just, showing my receipts. I ain't talking on my ass here, all right? We got the Metal Gear Solid collection, one of many, right? I got another one right here. Boom. Peep game. Beautiful, right? And then you already know the myth, the man, the legend, Michael Jackson, the Thriller album, my boy. We got Silent Hill right here. Boom. And then, if you know, you know, the Cowboy Bebop. Not just one, but two. Actually, I thought I had three, but I don't have it in this pile. Oops, hit my mic there. My bad, my bad. We got some more Metal Gear Solid right here. I try to keep the plastic in as good condition as I can, at least until I get my proper storage that I want to work on. And then, of course, that chromacopia. Listen, all right, look, if you know, you know. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. So I'm gonna set that right there. All right, so let's get into it. Sony is killing disc in games, right? And they're not killing it; they're just ending it for their production, and they're not the first to do it, but they are one of the last. And this is some news that has hit a lot of people heavy, including myself, and a lot of people are not happy with it, including myself. However, everyone is kind of having a different reaction, and in my opinion, some things have gone on a lot longer than they needed to go. So we're about 2 minutes in, close to 2 minutes. I'm going to cut this short and get straight to the point, right? So this doesn't need to be, if it's going to be 10 minutes long, that's all that needs to be said. I don't think this is a multiple video thing, 15, 50, 30 hour. I don't think it needs to go on that long. So let's stop rambling. So I'm not going to go through this article. This was just to reference it, to have the picture. The person who made the decision is Lynn Tao, and this is her face right here. This is what she looks like, right? She is the chief financial officer at Sony, right? And this is a little bit of a like, I guess, the biography or whatever. It tells you her journey throughout the company, where she's gone, where she's been throughout Sony. And then in April 2025, this is when she obtained that position or was promoted to this position. Because I believe there was another guy who actually retired and she's filling in that role. But then, as you know, about a month and a half ago, 2026 is when they announced that decision to can physical media as of 2028, January. So, all right, already writing has kind of been on the wall, right? Let me be clear. I'm someone who partakes in both physical and digital media. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do not have an extensive digital library between PlayStation, PC, and even a little bit Nintendo, right? So I'm not going to sit here and act holier than now like all I've ever done is purchase physical, because that is a lie. But physical has been there for me, right? Game Pass, I've never subscribed to it or been like cheerleader for it, but I've always been a big fan of GameFly. They were there when you ain't got the money. They were there when you just wanted to try games. And if you needed a discount, you could buy that disc for cheap. It's just a good ecosystem. Moving forward, right? I have some opinions about what people are doing that can be helpful, and some opinions on people that are what people are doing that is not helpful. So let's just get into that list, because again, your time is valuable, so is mine. So the Sony no disc problem, what helps? Direct contact and customer support, right? Make your voice heard, right? If a lot of you see 1,000 comments, a million comments, however many under every video unrelated to whatever, right? Actually make your voice heard where it needs to be heard, and talk about what you don't like. Talk about how you've been gaming since the 80s, since the 90s, since 2000, since whatever, and that you buy physical media and why it matters to you. Give some examples on why that matters to you and you don't want to see it go. And if all of you are actually funneling those complaints, funneling that feedback to where it needs to go, that matters, right? Rather you believe it matters or not, I'm not here to argue about any of that. I forgot to say that. I'm not here to argue with any of you. So rather you think this is going to help or it's not going to help, take and do with it what you will, what you want. It's a free world. Now, organize boycott. If you're going to boycott, make it make sense. Make sure the message is clear, concise, and that people can understand it and can rock with it. Because if not, it's a worthless effort, in my opinion, right? So make sure that boycott is organized. I'm not here to organize it for you. I'm not here to set it up. Just saying, make sure that it makes sense. Because if you're just going to say, hey, I bought this console, I bought these games, and I'm just not going to play, homie, we just lost power for like what, almost 48 hours. We had solar, but that's besides the point. But the biggest one that I don't see people with massive platforms talk about is contacting your local representative. So regardless of what country you live in, but let's just say the US, right? Go to Google, because I'm not going to do it and have you guys see, my zip code or something by mistake or whatever, right? Dox myself or something silly like that. But look up your local representative. Give them a call and give this message. Say, hey, listen, I purchase things, I pay my taxes when I buy my things. I would like to own the things that I buy, right? And if you've been able to see where in the terms of service that your digital rights do not equal or come close to what your physical rights are, make that a point that needs to be heard. And if 1,000 of you, 10,000, hundreds of thousands, whatever, actually articulate your problem in that way to the right people, they can then put a fire under their ass. 'Cause let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you get enough folks that are worried about getting reelected, and I hate that I'm talking about this when it's video games and not other problems, because there are way bigger fish to fry in the free world, but I digress. If you can put a fire under the people who want to get reelected to actually go do something, and let's just say now this company can't make sales, they can't make a profit in this area, that cuts into their bottom line. Maybe then Miss Lynn's Howe here will, second guess her opinion on, you know, cutting digital, when it starts to hurt that bottom line, when it starts to affect what her job is, when you can no longer make a sale in the state of New York or Texas or whatever because hey, you taking away something. You making it digital only, and the digital only rights don't sum up to the physical rights. So we not gonna let you sell to the citizens here. We not gonna have them pay taxes on some shit if they ain't getting what they supposed to do. But you won't get it if you don't try, if you don't articulate that message. Now, a shorter list, because I'm not gonna hold y'all all day. Y'all get the point. Y'all are smart people. I feel like I have a very intelligent audience. Things that do not help. Just period. They don't. Complaining. Where are you complaining? If it's a random YouTube video that has nothing to do with it, it's not to Sony directly, it's not to any of the people who would read it, because I'm pretty sure this woman doesn't read these comments on these YouTube videos. So how do you get this person to get the message? How do you get anybody who's in her ear to see any of the comments or messages? Because I guarantee you, with the position she's in and the money she's making, she's not reading no mean YouTube comments or even seeing the pleasant YouTube comments, right? Now, arguing with random people. You see me and I say I don't fully agree with the outrage. Screw Sony, screw Nintendo, screw whoever has digital whatever, or has gone to where content is no longer on the cartridge or the disc, right? Arguing with me isn't going to help your movement. Arguing with me isn't going to help your problem. Just think about it, man. People on the internet are miserable. Don't allow them to make you miserable, because I know sure as well I'm not, right? I got a career, a job, ambitions, a wife, a family, all that. No particular order, because you'd think I would have said a wife and family first, especially my kids, right? But no particular order. I'm just going off the dome, right? A lot of these folks don't have that. They unemployed and they ain't got nothing but time to be miserable and try to make you miserable because they miserable. And that ain't even the beginning of the problems that some of these folks have, right? And then the platform. The folks who have these big platforms, they're not trying to rally people to get behind it in a positive way. Because like I just said to you earlier, with my platform where barely anybody watches me, barely anybody sees me, hears my voice, or listens to me, right? I'm not telling you to go harass nobody, disrespect nobody, threaten nobody, but make your voice heard. Call them and articulate the problem, articulate your feelings. Tell them how you, as a person who pays taxes and votes for folks, you don't like what they have happen, right? You don't like where things are going. You don't like that your consumer rights for what they are being violated or overlooked in this very particular way. And that's all I had to say. We cut that down to less than about 9 minutes. So to close out, let me hit a couple of points. So I actually was going to pull up a conversation that I kind of had with somebody on Blue Sky ever so briefly, where this person had an issue with, and it actually doesn't shock me that I probably got blocked by them. So ironically enough, someone had made a post about how someone came into their store, they bought a bunch of physical content, and then they went on and changed the subject or added on talking about how like the no diss thing and how that's a bad thing. And I'm like, you know what we could do as well is make sure that we contact those local representatives and make a fuss where the fuss matters, right? And then they fire back, oh, nobody in Canada really cares, this and that. I'm like, well, it's still worth a shot. Right. If you can take your thumbs and you could try to type something for a couple likes and internet cred, I didn't say that, right? But it's still worth it. Say something. And then they had a weird response, which ironically I did screenshot it because I was like, I already know where this is going, because it went straight into victim mentality, right? And it's a VTuber, go figure, right? And their response to me was, or you could maybe Let us enjoy the good vibes of this wholesome little moment I shared with another human being today and leave the bucket full of bummer energy at the door. And it's like, it's not even bummer energy. I'm not bummed out. I'm not bumming anybody else out. I'm just saying, hey, there's a productive way we can move this energy. Because if me and you want the same thing, we want physical media to stay, we want physical discs to stay. I wanted to get the God of War Collector's Edition. It was a disc in there. It wasn't. It was a code to download a game. It's crazy, right? Guess what? If it was a disc, that disc would still work, but it's not there. So what do? So I'm doing my part person to person. Hey, let's do it. This person, I'm not going to name and shame them. Whatever. They can feel they type of way. They can talk their shit on their little Twitch as well. It is what it is, right? I'm going to move on to the next person and maybe somebody else will call. And a couple people have been calling, which is good. But, that's just where it's at, man. Don't let people drag you down at a level and don't get stupid. Don't get foolish with these folks. So let's move on to the next thing. So, with the idea of gaming culture and just, I don't do the coach war stuff. I don't do the console war stuff. I don't do the foolish stuff. I don't like playing in the mud with pigs that like to play in the mud, so to speak, right? So, right here, first off, let me get this woman's face off of here. I just put it on this for a minute. Um, we actually shot a long introduction episode. I won't even call it episode. It's really just an introduction to some of the people who are going to be behind this show that I'm starting. And what we're going to be doing is talking about video games that we played, that we enjoyed, whether it was in this month, this week, this day, and then also share gameplay clips of whatever we wanted, as well as sharing stories and our history with games. So we're going to talk about things that are good, bad, agree, and disagree. But the difference that I wanted to bring to the table is that no one's going to be here to be disrespectful. No one's going to be here to be incendiary, to be over the top. We're adults, right? And there's a lot of people who aren't adults, but they are very mature and they enjoy gaming. The loud minority of the folks that are on Twitter, on these other spaces, just acting a fool and showing their ass, so to speak, right? But how many of us just gaming is our hobby and you're this passionate, that passionate? It's levels to it, right? How many people just have a regular conversation without getting insulted, right? You don't have that on the internet a lot, and that's not how it's supposed to be. The internet was supposed to be a thing that kind of connects people, but I'm not here for the kumbaya. Let me stop rambling. The show has about four of us. A couple, actually all three of them are on YouTube. Some of them bigger than others, bigger than myself for sure, right? Because I don't do this enough, but nonetheless, we had a very good introduction. And so what I'm going to do is after this video goes live, I'm going to put this out today actually. So this will be August 18th. Um, Probably not going to edit that long video, let it be what it is, but I want to upload it after we've actually done our episode 1, which we're going to cover, I believe, Expedition 33, because I have a friend, a brother of mine really, who loved it. And I liked it. I love it. I liked it. Right. But we're going to have a good discussion about it. And everyone there kind of has their opinions that they want to share. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to show some gameplay. We're going to show some challenges. We're going to show some things that we got from when we played that game. Because unlike other things, one of the things that I want to do is whoever comes on this show, you must actually game. I don't want somebody talking about video games that don't play video games at all. They just in it because there's a good grift. They can rage bait. They can do all the other nonsense. So I'm pretty happy with the length of this video right now. We're about a little over 13 minutes. So we ended up, the main topic was concluded in the first 9. I'm keeping this raw. I don't like to edit a whole lot if I don't have to, right? I just like to have fun. I like to just be my authentic self, right? Unless there's like an egregious error or something, I'll take it out. We haven't had that. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to call it. Hey, y'all folks, y'all are beautiful. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Y'all have a good day. And if you don't see me tomorrow, play a game or something, read a book, go outside, touch grass, enjoy your family. God bless you. If you don't believe in God, may the universe bless you. Give you good luck. I don't know. Peace.